really want to join me for this video, don't you? Oh, isn't she sweet? Anyways, I think it is pretty clear that I have been putting this video off, if not by the upload date alone. It is the 6th of June and I am only just now uploading my May wrap-up. This is because, for me, I've had quite a big reading slump, particularly in finishing books. So, for me, it's been the lowest amount that I've read since the beginning of my booktube channel. Comparing it to what I used to read before my booktube channel, back when I was in secondary school and so on, it would be considered a good reading month, but knowing what I have been doing the past year or two, reading wise, I don't feel very accomplished about it, but anyways, I am gonna get through this, and of course I've sat in front of one of my bookshelves in order to remind myself that it's okay if I'm a little burnt out. I'm still a valid reader. And of course you don't need to have bookshelves to be a valid reader. You don't have to read physical books. It just helps me feel more comforted and grounded, because I am obsessed with physical books. I apologise for me chatting for so long. I have put a timestamp so you can skip to the actual books I'm talking about. But yeah, the first book on this list is Rise and Shine by Patrick Allington. This is a dystopian story about a reality where you wake up every morning to a piece of traumatic footage from a war that is currently happening. The countries which are at war, they aren't actually opposing each other, they're only prolonging the war so that they can get this traumatic content across to people, because that's how they start their day, that's how they get energy, it's through viewing this footage. And it's a really interesting concept. I really enjoyed it. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I also listened to this on an audiobook, so yeah. Next one, Paper and Heart Society by Lucy Powery. This is a book that I borrowed from my sister, and it's about a book club, and it's very involved. They do all sorts of activities based on bookish things, and it was quite fun, so I gave it a 7 out of 10. This is a point where I had not finished any books for ages, and then I installed Webtoon and found a series which is very, very popular, particularly on Book Talk, and that's the Heartstopper series, which is a contemporary graphic novel collection that was started off on Webtoon, and I got up to partway through the 6th volume, so I've put volumes 1 to 5 as complete. I believe 1 to 4 are published in physical form as well, so that's why I'm counting them as books. And that does make it seem like I've read a lot more this month, having read that collection, but realistically I haven't read all that much, considering graphic novels for me, I read a lot faster than more literary types of fiction. It's a really sweet story about these two boys who start as friends and slowly start a relationship, and it's very wholesome, very cute, and they also have lovely friends, so I want to start reading other books by Alice Osman because I know she writes about different characters within that series and gives them their own voices in different books, so I really want to read those now. Oh yeah, and I gave that a 10 out of 10. It was just amazing. Then this was a long time until I finished another book again, but I read the ebook of The Strange Case of Eliza Doolittle by Timothy Miller. I gave it a 7 out of 10. And the reason why I could get through this is because I'm familiar with the characters. It was a mashup of the play Pygmalion by Richard Bernard Shaw and the characters from Sherlock Holmes by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, and I'm very familiar with both of those stories. My Fair Lady is one of my favourite musicals because I am odd. So I found that helped me get through the book, so yeah. And then I've read Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. That took me a long time to get through. I don't know why, but it took me literal weeks to get through this one. I think it must have taken me the majority of the month to read this. And I gave it a 9 out of 10 because it was really lovely, super emotional, well written. I preferred it to Circe. I think it's up there, which is the other book by Madeline Miller, which I've read. They're both Greek mythology. Song of Achilles, of course, revolves around Achilles and is from the point of view of Patroclus, and it's all about their relationship, and it's a very nice story. Then I read The Wicked King by Holly Black, and honestly I'm so glad that I continued with this series. It's the second book in a series. The first book I thought was alright, it was good, but this one really made me hooked, so now I want to read the rest of the series. And it's a fantasy set in a sort of fairyland type of place, and yeah, one particular character, Carden, has been growing on me the whole time, and now I absolutely adore him. And the last book that I read was Mansfield Park by Jane Austen, and this one I had also been reading for a very long time. I started it in April, and hadn't finished reading it until I think 2 days before the end of May, but I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 10 out of 10 because I am a sucker for Jane Austen books, and it was also nice because the setting's a lot more local to where I am compared to the other settings. It's set in the same county as where I am currently, which is quite cool, and also it features a play, and I was a theatre kid, so loved it. So those were the books that I read in May. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll hopefully see you again for another video soon. Bye.